Hi, this is Matt Wiggins, one of the founders of Pattern. And today, along with Physician on Fire, we're going to bring you some unique content on how you can insure your income with disability insurance. And, this is really important because if you're on this website, you're getting all sorts of great content. You're probably learning how to develop a plan to become financially independent or retire early. The only problem is things don't always go exactly as they're planned. So we're going to discuss that today and how you can protect against that. First of all, financial independence, obviously not needing a paycheck to support your desired standard of living. Not everyone's there yet. Obviously, you're probably either starting to make plans for that, or maybe you're down the road on your plan for that, but that's where you're wanting to head. And in order to get there, a lot of things have to go right. You have to continue to work and make an income. So the question is, if something happened, which basically 1 in 5 doctors get disabled during the course of their career and have to live on disability insurance for some time. So if you find yourself that 1 out of 5 and you get disabled, how's that going to affect your plans to be financially independent or retire early? And so, honestly, it would change dramatically if you don't have disability insurance. But disability insurance is the type of insurance that it will provide you income. It will basically replace a good portion of your income if you ever get disabled and you can't earn it yourself. So all those plans that you've made and things, these goals that you have, they can pretty much stay intact if you have disability insurance. And so I sometimes refer to disability insurance as fire insurance because it's really protecting that financial independence, retire early plan that you're making. So it really is one of the most foundational pieces to any one of those plans. You've got to protect that income. So what should doctors know about disability insurance? First of all, premiums typically are cheaper in training. So for the most part, they are. There's more discounts. You're younger, you're healthier. You're going to find cheaper rates or more opportunities for discounted and cheaper rates in training. However, there are some discounts you can get once you're outside of training. So don't give up on that. If you missed them in training, there might just be fewer of them, but there are still opportunities. So be sure you're looking around or you have someone who can help you look around for those types of discounts. The premiums for the policy that you buy. So let's say you buy a disability insurance policy in Georgia and you move to Illinois, the rates are not going to change on the policy that you bought. However, if you go to increase your coverage in the future, depending on which insurance company you bought a policy from, they may let you increase at the original state's rates, or they may do the increase, even though you're locked in with your first policy in the original state, they may make the increase at the future state's rates. So you may want to ask that if you're thinking you're going to be moving, if that's something that may be in your future, you may want to learn when you're going through this process, hey, is this a company that will allow me to continue to get the rates I locked in for increases in the future? Or is it going to be at the new rates? And where that really comes into play is California. Most of the states are pretty close to each other in rates. New York's a little bit more, in some cases, Florida too. But California is unequivocally more expensive vastly than every other state. And so if you're moving to or from California, take note of this. This is going to become a big key decision point in the policy that you get. Riders are things on disability insurance that are simply additions. They're things that they're adding benefits to the policy. Some of them are worth it, some of them are not. And so we categorize riders in 2 ways, essential and optional. There are 2 essential riders on policies. You always, if you can, you always want to get a future increase option. Sometimes they're called future increase options. Sometimes they're guaranteed insurability options. Sometimes they're benefit update, benefit purchase rider. There's all these names. You basically just want to know, do I have a rider on this policy that guarantees I can increase it in the future regardless of any changes to my health? My health's not going to stop me from getting more coverage if my income goes up. So you want to add that in there because typically our health and income go in opposite directions. You don't want this health, if it's going down, to keep you from bumping up your coverage and protecting more income. I'd say a second essential one is something called a partial or residual rider. Depending on the company, it's called different things. But basically 70% of claims from the general public and from doctors are partial and not total. And so what that is if you ever get disabled to where you can still practice and do your duties fully, maybe you just can't do them full time, or maybe you have a partial loss of your duties, that could result in a partial loss of income. And if you don't have that rider on there, it's either all or nothing. Either you're deemed totally disabled and they'll pay you the full amount, or you're deemed partially disabled and you don't get anything. This allows you to get a partial disability payment. And because it happens frequently, it's really important to have. Optional benefits include a cost of living adjustment, catastrophic coverage where they give you more a bigger payout if you're disabled severely. student loan rider, which is obviously dependent on situation. So be sure that you learn about those and see which ones are important to you or not. But keep in mind the two essential ones, the increased options in the future guaranteed and the residual or partial rider. As far as circumstances when you should wait, there are very, very few. Most of the time, disability insurance is something where, hey, you know your health now, your age now. Let's not wait till something changes. Let's go ahead and get it. There are certain circumstances, like as I mentioned before, if you're living in California, but you know in 6 months you're going to be in another state, maybe it's worth the risk of something happening to your health to wait until you can get another state's rates. You might be paying half the price in another state that you do California. So there's an instance of when a waiting might be worth it, but just know that those are rare. Pretty much most of the time you want to go ahead and get your coverage. A few notes on COVID-19. As you can see down at the bottom, prices haven't changed. So a lot of people ask us that. Have prices changed? Prices getting more expensive because of COVID-19? That's not the case. But what it has done, it's created a much more flexible environment that's conducive to doctors getting disability policies cheaply, quickly, and maybe even doctors that have some health history getting policies that are better than they ever would have before. So companies are allowing doctors to get higher amounts without doing labs or a physical. There's grace period extension where if you miss a payment, you've got longer to make the payment and keep your policy in force. And they're being more flexible with their underwriting. So if you have some health history that you're like, they might decline me or they might modify my policy, I don't know how they're going to handle this, I'd say now's the time. And they've never been more flexible. And the reason is they've seen most of them, their businesses have dipped during this time. And so they're trying to get as much business in as they can. A lot of executive bonuses are based on them hitting certain numbers. And so they want to do that. And so they're telling their departments to be a little more flexible. So just know this is a great time to look into disability insurance. And if you haven't already, now would be a good time. Who can help you? I would say look for an independent broker. You don't want to go to insurance agents who are captive to one company. If you're working with someone with disability insurance and their card or their signature and their email says the name of one insurance company, probably not a good idea. They're probably going to have incentive to sell you that one company. It's kind of a conflict of interest. But find someone like Pattern, an independent broker who can actually, from an unbiased perspective, gather all your quotes together and put them side by side, educate you in an unbiased way, and help you make the best decision for you. Ultimately, that's what you want. Someone who's incentivized to help you make the best decision for you. The way we do it is if you go right up to our ad and click on it, you'll be guided to a place where you can give us the information to gather your quotes. And then we're going to put them on a super simple report like this. And it's super clear and easy and fast. Within 24 hours, we're going to have an agent be able to sit down with you and go through a side-by-side comparison just like this. And for most doctors, by the time they get to the end of this, they feel empowered with the knowledge of their rates and all the features that are specific to them. They can make a decision and go ahead and get this checked off their to-do list. So be sure, if you're kind of in that mode where this is important to you, you want to get it done, click on our ad and let us gather these quotes and be able to help you get this knocked out quickly and easily and get it done right the first time. So thank you. I hope this was really helpful. Obviously, we want to make sure doctors know what they need to know to get the right disability insurance the first time. And if you need an independent broker, someone who can help you to do this, someone who's done it for thousands and thousands of doctors and who has a great reputation with people like Physician on Fire, then click on our ad and let us start helping you today. Thanks so much and stay healthy out there.